January 2022. What happened? Januaries are supposed to be mellow in the games industry. Not too many game releases, which usually leads to the industry staying kinda quiet. Well, not in 2022. This month went down in history mainly due to one word: acquisitions. So let's take a look at this unusually busy January, going through all the news as well as the game releases. My name is Arthur, and this is From the Void. Let's go through the biggest news first. Microsoft announced the future acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, and when that happens, they will have set the record for the biggest acquisition in gaming ever, and one of the biggest in the whole entertainment industry. If the deal goes through, Microsoft will simply have gobbled up for the insurmountable sum of $68.7 billion, one of the industry's giants. This tells me that Microsoft is really going all in on the gaming business. I always felt like their gaming section was kind of ditched to the side in Microsoft, but that seems to have changed significantly more recently. They've been shopping, gearing up, acquiring left and right, using all their tech giant weight to their advantage, especially with this deal. And they got some ridiculous weight, man. It's not even fair. Microsoft's market cap as of 2022 is around $2.3 trillion. Trillion with a T. That is such a ridiculously impossible number to fathom. Do you have any idea of what that is? I don't think you do. I don't think any one of us is capable of understanding this number. We can comprehend what a million is, but a trillion, it's 1 million millions, man. Let me illustrate it like this so you can really see what a trillion means. 1 million seconds is 11 days and a half. We can comprehend that, no problem. It's not even that much time, right? Now, 1 billion seconds is 31 years and 8 months. Do you see that leap from 11 days to 31 years? But however much, 31 years is still within the lifespan of a single human being. So we can still understand it. It's a lot, but comprehensible, right? But the leap to trillions goes way beyond that. It goes straight to millennia. 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years plus 7 centuries. I think this analogy is fitting here because that's how absurd the value of Microsoft is. It goes way beyond the comprehension that we can have as individuals. It's insane. And they are using it, very aware that their biggest competitors can't do anything like that. Sony's market cap is around 130 billion. That 0.3 in Microsoft's alone is more than twice as much. Sony just can't move around half their net worth in cash to acquire something as big as Activision Blizzard. It would be too risky, right? So it's like Microsoft is done playing the video game by everyone else's rules and just went shopping for some $70 billion deck of cards no one else can afford, with the exception of Tencent. But they are not so much a direct competition to Microsoft as Nintendo and Sony are. However, in the very last day of January actually, Sony responded in a very loud way too, as loud as they can. They announced to be acquiring Bungie, and hey, kudos to Sony, you know? I really think that this is a strong, brave move, especially considering how fast they did it. It should be enough to bring some good optics for shareholders and the market and all that. It shows that they're not willing to give up the first place, because they're still the biggest in terms of revenue. Their share value increased since the announcement, recovering a bit after the dip they took from Microsoft's announcement. And now, let's address this musical chair situation the gaming industry is currently experiencing. I'll just leave this animation I made in a loop because I'm really proud of it. So, what the hell, right? Sony is now acquiring Bungie, who made all the old school Halo games. Think about that. Xbox's biggest franchise original makers are soon going to be working for Sony. Of course, Halo is still a Microsoft IP, but nonetheless, this is incredible. And by acquiring Activision, Microsoft will own Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, which were Sony exclusives originally. No one would bet on either of those things in the early 2000s, man. No one. In a general sense, I don't like this kind of acquisitions. One huge company being acquired by another even bigger one, it's usually bad for the industry. But in these two cases in particular, both are positive in my view. I don't care about Destiny, so Bungie can go wherever they want. So since Sony had to respond by acquiring someone, no one better than Bungie, as far as I'm concerned, who is a big fish, but I don't care about what they make. But Activision Blizzard especially is a positive acquisition, because this is a perfect opportunity to get rid of 99% of the higher-ups, especially Bobby Kotick, and give the devs more freedom to stop making Call of Duty every 17 seconds. I mean, let them do something else, for God's sake. Activision was placing the Toys for Bob team to help on Call of Duty making. Look at their name, Toys for Bob. They were the original devs of Pandemonium for the PlayStation 1, Skylanders franchise, and the more recent Crash games, Trilogy and 4. They make cartoonish, family-friendly games. They don't wanna make Call of Duty, that's obvious. But they have been. Bobby doesn't care. He's like, I'm the Bob you're making toys for now, you dipshit. Get making my Call of Duty toys. That guy is despicable. With all the alleged and pretty much proven misconducts that he either knew all along and just brushed under the rug or did it himself, it's pretty much safe to say that he is a disgraceful human being and deserves a disgraceful end of career. I don't think anyone can do anything about his wealth he doesn't deserve, but his image, at least, should be in the toilet and end there. The fact that he is still helming the ship is a slap in everyone's face already. So yeah, Microsoft better kick him out day one as soon as the acquisition goes through. Good riddance. Go hide in a hole, Bobby. Everyone hates you. Number 2 piece of news everyone was talking about in January 2022 and will likely be talking still for a long time, unfortunately, is NFTs. Blah. That's it. That's all I can say about NFTs, cause they're nothing. It's a glorified Ponzi scheme with no value to be traded by anyone involved. Just pure speculation. It's pathetic. I hope they regulate the shit out of this, or better yet, straight up ban it, cause it's a scam and it's so embarrassing to see all these big companies and big people getting behind them. Konami and Ubisoft are already deep on it. Yeah, how shocking. Sega almost got in, but backed down. Let's see if they stay away for good. But the most disappointing to me was Square Enix. That was disheartening. Square Enix's president, Yosuke Matsuda, uploaded a public post on their website, which is still there, so they're not ashamed enough of it in the least, talking about how NFTs are great and beneficial to the player. So we can unfortunately expect NFT infested games from these companies, which will be just a whole new low for the industry. The biggest gaming voice actor, Troy Baker, also dipped his pinky toe on the NFT waters and got a huge backlash, and now is saying that he backed down and will no longer pursue that venue. So yeah, NFTs, bright future ahead of us. Good grief. In other news, we had a studio announcing to be making 3 games on the same franchise. If you think I'm talking about EA announcing 3 Star Wars games in production, you are dead wrong and absolutely oblivious to the far more meaningful similar news. I'm of course talking about Microids, who has announced that 3 Garfield games are in production. 3 Star Wars games, get out of here, Garfield is where it's at. In the middle of a thunderstorm of bad news, and after the announcement of the acquisition, Activision Blizzard still had the gall to unveil a new IP for a survival game we know next to nothing about. So that was that. Final Fantasy XIV is back on sale after being sold so much that they had to remove the option for newcomers. Good for you, Square Enix. Why do you think you need NFTs after all, huh? Greedy much? Then Sony unveiled PSVR 2, which seems great, but I still don't have money to buy any of them. Help me out by subscribing so I can make better observations about VR. Kirby will be able to fish in the upcoming Kirby post-apocalyptic game. That's nice. Wordle happened. Crysis 4 was announced, and I will, for the 4th time, not have a nice enough PC to run it. Help me out by subscribing so I can make better observations about Crysis. And finally, something involving both Final Fantasy and Italy happened. And that's all I will say about that, because this is not that kind of place, alright? You can search that yourself at your own risk. And for the next section, I will highlight some big games released during the month that are worth talking about. The biggest one is probably Pokemon Legend Arceus, Arceus, whatever, which is surprisingly decent. Got some fine scores all the way up to 9s. I wasn't planning on playing that, but now I do. And I'm not gonna talk about Rainbow Six Broglie Blagger. It's from Ubisoft and yet another Rainbow Six, alright? Couldn't care less. And that's it for the biggest ones. Then on this next section, I highlight the indie releases, cause this is from the void. This is how we do it. Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avengers IX2, these names let me tell you. This came out and it's pretty excellent. Got some really high scores, like 9s. And I really like the Gunvolt Striker pack I got for the Switch, so this is another pick for me. Then Windjammers 2 came out to decent scores. This is a Frisbee game, man, and it's kick-ass. Nobody Saves the World was a big one from Guacamelee developer Drinkbox Studios, also to decent reception, 7s and 8s, and I enjoyed every one of their games, both Guacamelee's, Severed, and both Tales from Space, so I will be picking this up for sure. I wish they had sent me the review copy for it though, but apparently my sub count is not flashy enough for Drinkbox. I know, yeah. It really isn't flashy at all. Help me out by subscribing so I can make better and faster observations about Drinkbox games. Reiterate is also a fun one and a challenging, pure kind of platformer from a solo developer. Pretty cheap and short but sweet. I reviewed it, you can check that out if you want, link in the description. And I think that's it. So all that's left now is to get ready for February, that is simply going to be busy as this traffic jam here. I mean, Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires is coming, man. And that was January 2022 in gaming. Well, most of it. Pretty interesting month, I gotta say. This is a new show, so if you liked it, let me know. If you disliked it, please let me know. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.